Good evening, and welcome along to another big show here on NVTV. The sun is shining, so we thought, why not bring the show from the living room outside into the back garden. Hope we find you well this evening. Now, coming up on the show, we'll be chatting to singer-songwriter Brian Kennedy about his first live gigs since coming out of lockdown.
And Conleth Kane will be here talking about his new album, Liberty. And I will be talking about some things that are on television at the moment.
So that's what's coming up on the big show this evening. But starting things off, some live music and a very special live track from Brian Kennedy, recorded live from his home in Dublin.
I was inspired by a traveller woman called Margaret Barry. And Callum McCall and I were in my place one time and we were talking about where songs come from, where artists come from. How come for such a tiny wee island that Ireland is, how do we keep coming up with all these extraordinary artists, particularly women artists that are often underlooked, and overlooked. Margaret Barry was a travelling singing woman, she played the banjo. And I heard her singing and it literally broke my heart, the feeling that was in her voice. So this is called Margaret Barry Broke My Heart.
With her stories and a heart, like a moment in the dark. Margaret Barry broke my heart. Margaret Barry stole my breath with a banjo against her breast. Let the candles sing a prayer, like a crowd of stars in her hair. On your face another time I can trace every line runs me through like a knife. I think I've known you all my life. Oh, Margaret Barry has gone away, but her voice still wrecks my day, like a murder in the park. Margaret Barry broke my heart. 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 Margaret married the clear air, rode her bicycle everywhere. Oh, what a song.
Margaret Barry Broke My Heart. I wrote that with Callum McCall, who was my MD for years and years. She used to just get on her bicycle, literally travel around Ireland and England and just stand up and sing in marketplaces, in bars. Back in the day when you, of course, could do that. Do you remember bars, everybody? Yeah, but don't worry, we'll make a return to all of that.
And that was Brian Kennedy on his Facebook Live a few weeks ago.
So we'll have some more live music from Brian Kennedy a little bit later on, and also be playing you the brand new single from Conleth Kane as well. But right now, we mentioned Brian Kennedy. He's got a series of concerts coming up, his first since coming out of lockdown. It's all part of this year's Younique Festival of Love, and Brian's got a couple of special gigs on the 25th and 26th of September at the Stormont Hotel in Belfast, and also the Slieve at Donard Hotel in Newcastle. And we caught up with the man himself at the Younique Aesthetics Clinic in Belfast last week. Here's what happened. Okay, Brian, you're heading back onto the stage again. After being in lockdown for so long, it must be great to get in front of a live audience.
So thrilled to see that. Yes, it's called the Younique Festival of Love, and it is time to go back on the stage again, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, you know, I've obviously really missed the concerts because for me, it's, as I always say, it's my lifeblood. It's psychologically, on every level, it's important to express yourself. So yes, a great opportunity. Conleth Kane is my special guest. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that hugely.
And of course, recently you've been doing these Facebook Live things as well, which have been great. I love the one with Mary Coughlin.
Yeah. I mean, once we got up and running and we realised we could do it, and, you know, because it's kind of complicated enough. Lots of people did it, but a lot of people didn't have great sound and things and all that. So I'm very lucky. There's a guy called Richard Meehan and Lar Flynn, and between them, they've put together this extraordinary setup, you know. And we tried one to see how it would go, and it just went so well. And then I thought, it'd be nice to have a guest and maybe talk about my favourite books, my favourite films on lockdown. And Mary Coughlin said yes straight away. And I've known Mary for 30 years, you know, so just a joy to see her and to sing with her. And of course, we sang a Van Morrison song together, Warm Love, which was great and very timely. You know, Mary, is one of those artists that she's the real thing. You know, that's what she does. She plays live. She's been recording even longer than I have, and that's 30 years for me. So, yeah, it's a thrill to be able to call up maybe some of your friends and go, fancy come around for a wee sing, you know. I mean, that's been one of the upsides of the whole lockdown experience, that you have to get creative in terms of how you're going to go forward.
So obviously you're going to do some more of them. Any ideas who you would like to call up next?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm just going to be brave and think, who would I love to sing with next? And they're either going to just say yes or no. I mean, obviously the socially distant thing is a little bit of a problem, but again, the space that we're working in is twice the size of this space, and it's absolutely doable. So who would you like to hear me sing with that you haven't heard me sing with yet?
There's loads of people.
Yeah.
Oh, let me think about
Rosemary,
that one.
for example.
Would you? Can we get an exclusive here? Would you do a duet with Rosemary?
Of course I would. I think she's great. And after hanging out with her, with you and your lovely wife there on camera, I started looking back into her archive a little bit, and it is extraordinary to see actually what she was doing in the 80s and the 90s and even before that in the 70s. So, yeah, I think she's one of our kind of little lost gems, and let's get out our little cloths and sparkle her up a bit and remind people at home how great she is.
Okay, can I throw another name in there as well? Can I throw in Des Lee from the legendary Miami Show Band?
Oh, of course. And actually, I think the first time I met him was with you at the West Belfast Awards that time. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, when it was so funny that day because I had just watched, you know, the documentary, The Massacre of the Miami Show Band, which was so shocking to me that I didn't realise the details that came through. I thought I knew that story, but I absolutely didn't. So people at home, I recommend that documentary on Netflix. So yes, absolutely. And he'd be incredible to talk to as well in terms of just getting his take on what he thinks about the music business now, because I wouldn't necessarily just concentrate on that massacre. I would also talk to him about what he feels about the music industry now, how it could be improved, even from somebody who's been on the road as long as he has.
Yeah. What about Hazel O'Connor? Because you know Hazel quite well, don't you?
I know Hazel very well. So yes, I've got a little list of people. Hazel goes between France and Wicklow all the time. So I'm certainly hoping, because, you know, I'm singing on a new album. So yeah, she's on my list. And Moya Brennan, you know, Sinead O'Connor. I mean, I may ask Van, I'm not sure, see what he's in the mood to do. Maybe we'll just have a chat about books, about things like that, I don't know. So we'll see. Yes, I have a little kind of list of people.
Okay, well, it'll bring us nicely into Van Morrison, because he does have a big birthday coming up. He's going to be 75.
Can you believe it, 75? I mean, what an incredible age to get to. And you know, in all seriousness, given that I've been through such a kind of a very difficult time in the last few years, it makes you think about your mortality a lot. And as you know, I toured with him extensively for about 6 years. And so I see how hard he works. And even when we're on downtime, that was the time we'd record music and make albums of his. So to think that he's gotten to 75 and has given us all this amazing music, I'm just so proud to have known him, to have sung with him so much. And of course, Van, happy birthday if you happen to be watching, which you may well be. I know you don't miss much. So I just think it's a great opportunity for us, oftentimes we don't really treasure our proper people until maybe long after they're gone. And so what a wonderful opportunity to really treasure him now that we have him with us, and let him know how much we love him. So, as you know, in Dublin, the Hot Press magazine, they're doing, I think it's a song a week, isn't it, until the end of the year. 75 artists from around the place. I myself sang a song as well, and yeah, just great to be part of the celebration for somebody who really deserves to be celebrated from our city of Belfast.
I have to put together a radio show based on his music, of course, and to choose the songs for that show.
Good luck.
Where do you begin?
Well, I would say begin at the beginning.
Yeah.
Start at Astro Weeks, or maybe even start with them perhaps and set it up like that, whatever you feel like doing. But I would start and just work my way through the catalogue. Now you're talking about certainly. Regular albums, there's over 40 of them. There's about 40, 45 maybe. And then, of course, all of the bootlegs of the concerts and all the stuff that has never even been released, which you haven't even heard yet. How long is your programme for?
2 hours.
So you should be okay. But Robin, I have a challenge for you.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to speak very much.
Well, that's the thing.
Sorry about that.
That's it.
Because there's so much music.
Now, I'm also going to include Van covers as well. Some of my favourite covers.
Yeah.
Things like Dusty Springfield's Tupelo Honey, Marianne Faithfull doing Madam George.
I stood beside Marianne Faithfull when she did that vocal. Do you know
No.
that? Oh, yeah. So that was for a record called No Prima Donna. And a typical Van, he was making maybe 2 or 3 albums at the same time. And so he started getting guests in like Sinead O'Connor, like Marianne Faithfull. So when you hear her vocal, I'm standing beside her, counting her in, because it was quite a Phil Coulter was involved, and obviously producer and playing piano. So Marianne, she's an extraordinary person, an extraordinary singer, but she has a particular sense of timing that is her own. So, and oftentimes that kind of wouldn't really work once the music was stricter, because the music had been recorded first in that case. And so I just was standing beside her. God be with the days when we had cameras like this, because then it would just be on camera and you could see it. But I would literally be quietly kind of go 1, 2, and you're in. I'd be beside her.
Right.
She'd have headphones on, so would I. And so when you hear that, I'm standing right beside her.
And of course, on that album, you did Queen of the
I
Slipstream,
did.
which I'm not going to play on the show, because the one that I am going to play is your version of Brown Eyed Girl.
Oh.
Because I will never forget the first time I played it on the radio. The phone lines went crazy, but it was a 50-50 split.
I bet it was 50-50, because even I know that. I know some people really loved it and some people really didn't love it. And I love that, because, I mean, the Marmite factor is a healthy thing to happen in anybody's career. So, yeah, I still sing that to this day. And all I can tell you is, people at home, I played it to Van to get his permission to do it, and he said to me, that's great. He really loved it.
Yes, yeah.
So that's all the permission I need, I think, from the man himself.
Great stuff. Now, as we're sitting here today, it's the day of John Hume's funeral.
Oh.
And you knew the man, didn't you?
I did. I first met him. I was asked to sing at his birthday once when they were having a gathering here at the Europa Hotel a long time ago. Long time ago. I think actually it was his 50th birthday. So that's how long ago it was. And I used to encounter him, and one of the encounters I had with him was really something. For some reason, we were getting the bus together from Dublin to Belfast. Right. Something was going on with the train or something, and we had to get on the bus. But I didn't know he was on the bus, and I just got on, and it was like, it's John Hume. So we started chatting and everything, and I had a great time chatting about Derry and me from the Falls Road and all those things. And then we got to Belfast, to the bus station, and Turlough McShane, who was my tour manager at the time, was meeting me there because we were doing something. And I said, John, where are you going? And he goes, oh, I'm going to Derry. I was going, right, and how are you getting there? I'll probably just get the bus, I was like, John Hume has just gotten the bus from Dublin to Belfast. Now he's just going to, he was on his own with a plastic bag, not even a leather bag or anything, a wee plastic bag, Derek Bell, remember him? Always had a plastic bag. And so, and I was going, no, we can do better than that. And so Turlough was kind enough to make sure he got to Derry and properly. And I would think I was saying to you earlier that one day he showed up at my sound check in Derry. And I couldn't believe it. The security guy came in and said, I'm John Hume is here and he wants to say hi. I'm like, oh my God, of course. Because, he's such a hero to me. This part of the island would not be the same without that man's input. And it was always about peace for him, always, always, always. And so he presented me with a bottle of whiskey that was his whiskey from the House of Commons in London. His own personalised whiskey. I didn't even know politicians got that, but they do. And I was, then, in those days, I didn't drink at all. So I was like, oh, God. amazing, gorgeous. I actually ended up giving it to my parents in the end. And so we sat down, and he was very somber, you know. He was very, maybe it was the start of what was going on with him physically, but he was extremely somber and recollecting the early days. And then he paused and he said to me, do you think anybody will remember me? And I nearly fell off my seat. I was going, John, of all the people that will be remembered in history, it will certainly be you. Yeah. You know, no question about that. And I said to him, didn't Seamus Heaney, even our poet laureate, write a poem about you? Something about there was one man who stood taller than the rest. It was this poem that he'd written. And he goes, I suppose. But you could see there were other movies playing in his mind. You know, you could, and that's how I could describe it. Even though he was lucid and he was talking to me and listening to what I was saying, clearly he also had these black and white movies playing in his mind about what he'd been through. And even now, in the last few days, have you seen those amazing black and white photographs of him being arrested by the police and the soldiers and all of the indignity of that? And yet, when I think of John Hume, I think of one of the most dignified people I've ever met in my life.
Definitely. Every time we do this, we sit down for a chat, you tell the most amazing stories.
Right.
You do.
Okay. About
About all kinds of people. So there's got to be a book in there about all the people you've met. There's got to be a life story there somewhere.
Well, you know, I did write an autobiography, and it's called Harmonising with Ambulances, and it does exist. But these days, because of the way the law works, it's very difficult to actually tell the truth. Because, you know, maybe one version of the truth is not somebody else's version. Also, there are people out there who value their privacy and don't want to be written about. And I get all of that. So my book currently is on a cyber shelf, waiting for a few people to die, perhaps. But yes, I forget, you see, that what I've been through in the last 30-odd years. And again, a lot of that would be because of touring with Van Morrison and then singing with him and Bob Dylan and Joni Mitchell and meeting the most incredible actors. Richard Gere was in the band for a week one time. Oh yeah. Did I never tell you
How
that?
and why? You've never told me that.
Oh God, yeah. Richard Gere was making a movie at the time. I think it was called Knight or something. K-N-I-G. He plays a knight, and his hair was dyed kind of dark brown, and he had a very beautiful model girlfriend at the time. But somehow he ended up coming to a gig. He then got up and played guitar with us in Brighton. Guitar. And I remember Van just saying, I just want to introduce an actor friend. He didn't even say who it was, of course. An actor friend. You could see the audience kind of going, looks a bit like, oh my God, that's Richard Gere. So he toured with us for just over a week and got up with us and played guitar every night. And the song was And the Healing Has Begun, because it's 3 chords. Yeah. And he was great, but I would often be at the side of the stage chatting to him. He was really friendly. I mean, listen, ladies and gentlemen, what a beautiful man. Dark, dark, dark brown eyes. At that time his hair was brown. And just a real music fan. And there's all kinds of things I could tell you, but not on camera. Sorry about that.
Okay, what we're going to do is switch the camera off so I can get the full story. Brian, you're back on stage, the Slieve, Donard and the Stormont Hotel.
Yes, exactly. Now that we hopefully are coming out of COVID, here's the poster, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that gorgeous poster. Look, that's me up there, apparently. I've grown my hair since a wee bit since that photograph. Yeah, I mean, we're just trying to come up with ideas to safely perform for people, because I know as much as I'm dying to perform, I know there are people out there who are just dying to go to a gig, a concert, and try and feel normal again. Yeah. So really, really looking forward to that. So watch out for even more details about those gigs.
Yeah, it is going to be a gig. Conleth Kane in support, and me popping up as a compere for the night as well.
The gang's all here. This one I wrote when I was living in Manhattan. In 2000, I was part of a special version of a musical called Riverdance on Broadway, and that was the most extraordinary thing to be part of it. And then on Monday nights, which is the dark night on Broadway, I used to sneak down to Arlene's Grocery, this wee village venue, and try out my new songs that became an album of mine called Get On With Your Short Life. This is a story in song. I actually recorded this more recently with a fellow called Boy George, so check that out online. But this is called Christopher Street.
Christopher Street was busy tonight as I made my way back home. One of these nights I'll turn on the light, like that taxi by the payphone. Well, I've been here a week, but it feels like more. And God knows how long I'll last. I picked up the mail from the hallway floor, and I'm finally making peace with the past. Now most of my friends are busy tonight, just getting their kids upstairs now. How did our lives change so fast? You just never know what's up the road ahead, do ya? Sheridan Square was crazy today when I took the train uptown. Now it started to snow, but I just didn't care, 'cause I never dreamed I'd be Broadway bound. Now Christopher Street has quietened down. Seems even New York needs to sleep sometimes. But one of these nights, when I turn out the lights, well, I'll find you waiting to love me. Christopher Street. Oh, thank you.
And of course we look forward to seeing Brian perform on the 25th of September in the Stormont Hotel, and then again on the 26th of September in the Slieve Donard Hotel in Newcastle. So get your tickets now.
Okay, time now for some things that we've been watching on TV over the past couple of weeks or so. The show that's had us glued has been The Deceived on Channel 5, hasn't it?
Oh, yes. And, you know, the very synopsis got me excited, Robin, because it said a psychological thriller where a young girl falls in love with her teacher. Well, who doesn't want to watch that?
Now, this was written by Lisa McGee, who wrote Derry Girls, and Tobias Beer as well. It's a really kind of old-fashioned storyline, but in a modern-day setting, isn't it?
It is. It is set in London and then again in Donegal, and yeah, it's just the scenery in Donegal is beautiful. But of course, Robin, it wasn't actually filmed in Donegal.
No, it wasn't. It was meant to be filmed in a place called Knockdara in Donegal, but the house is actually in Doak. It's a Holstone house in Doak, close to Ballyclare, isn't it?
Yeah, and then the village itself was in Killock. The actual bar that you see is actually in Killock.
And the church as well.
And the church, yes, absolutely.
Now, of course, it features some people who you may recognise as well from recent shows, yeah?
Well, if you were glued to Normal People, Paul Mescal was actually in that, and he is in The Deceived. And again, great to see, but a little bit disappointed that he wasn't in it a little bit more, Robin.
Okay, right.
Because anybody who would have saw Normal People, I mean, we were glued to Paul, weren't we? And he's probably a little bit young for me, but Robin, he did have me on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, and of course, if you are a big Paul Mescal fan as well, he is in the new video for the Rolling Stones as well.
Yes, he is. And other actors that were in that are Irish actors. Was Emma J. Scanlon, who you would recognise from Hollyoaks and Peaky Blinders. We also have Emily Reid, who plays the lead female girl, Ophelia, who has been in quite a lot of things
She
too.
was in Belgravia recently.
That's right. And you know what? Really good story. Edge of your seat again. It was nice to see something different from Lisa McGee and her writing partner Tobias. Really, really good story. And you weren't really sure where it was going, so pretty gripping. Really loved to see that. Really enjoyed it.
So if you haven't seen it, here's a clip from The Deceived.
You're not the first. You won't be the last. Do you know who he's married to? Roisin Mulvey.
Not all women are allies, Ophelia. Some are the enemy. The man that built this place shook hands with the devil.
The house! My wife is dead.
I'm pregnant.
I told her about you the night she died.
She did it to herself because of you.
I saw her.
Who?
Roisin's alive.
I found the body.
She's here. She's angry.
It's not safe here.
There's something about this story that doesn't quite sit right with me.
Who cares how it sits with you?
I'm not mad.
And that was The Deceived, and you can watch that on Catch Up on Channel 5.
Well worth checking out, isn't it?
Definitely. But you know something, Robin? I have to say, do you know who I would really love to see more now on TV?
Who?
I would like to see one of our very own local actors who we have seen in a few things, particularly a Mary Jones play recently, and that is our lovely Matt Forsyth. I want to see Matt Forsyth on TV.
Okay, I'm sure he will be sometime very soon.
He will, and I look forward to that.
Okay, right, moving on to something else that you can currently rent at home at the moment. It's called The Secret, Dare to Dream, and this stars Katie Holmes and Josh Lucas, and it's based on the best-selling novel from Rhonda Byrne. So The Secret, Dare to Dream follows Miranda, played by Katie Holmes, a young widow trying to make ends meet while raising her 3 children after dating her boyfriend, played by Jerry O'Connell. A devastating storm brings an enormous challenge and a mysterious man called Bray into Miranda's life. Bray reignites the family spirit, but unbeknown to Miranda, also holds an important secret, one that will change everything. With its timeless messages of hope, compassion and gratitude, The Secret, Dare to Dream is an inspiring and heartwarming film that shows how positive thoughts can transform our lives. Here's a clip.
You are a very lucky girl.
Miranda Wells, will you marry me?
Not many men would be willing to take on somebody with your baggage. I mean, 3 kids, a mountain of debt.
Looking for Miranda Wells?
She's at work right now. You can leave it with me. I'm her son.
I'm afraid this comes with a little bit of an explanation.
So hurricane warnings are up.
The weather guy says it's gonna miss us, but...
You can never be too careful. No matter how bad things are, they can always get worse.
Mom!
I'm expecting a call from the bank.
Bray Johnson.
Miranda Wells. There goes my deductible.
Don't waste your insurance on this.
Why is he taking your bumper?
Because he's offered to come over to fix it.
You're letting him follow us home? You come out here looking for her, then she runs into you? It's pretty weird.
Is it? Your thoughts attract things with a force that you cannot see, but is definitely real.
Okay, this is me thinking about pizza. Don't look at me. You have to be careful.
The hurricane could miss Louisiana altogether.
Yeah, right.
Because we get what we expect. I'm open to the possibility that whatever happens,
Oh my God.
even the bad stuff, can lead to better things.
I can't afford a new roof.
Let me help.
Why are you helping me?
Because I can.
How do you know Miranda?
I don't really.
Why are you fixing her roof?
I just don't want you to blow this.
She doesn't love him. Not like Dad.
All your dad ever wanted was for you to be happy.
How would you know that?
What are you doing right now?
Taking in this gorgeous sunset.
I don't understand what's happening here.
I think you and I collided for a reason.
What's it say?
I've been dreaming that one fine day.
Mom, what happened to the bumper?
Karma.
Or maybe he's just a lousy driver.
There's a better day coming.
The Secret Dare to Dream is available to rent from home now.
Right, let's get another guest on, and singer-songwriter Conleth Kane is back with a great new album called Libertine, and he'll also be supporting Brian Kennedy at the Younique Festival of Love at the Stormont Hotel and the Slieve Donard Hotel on the 25th and 26th of September. We caught up with Conleth at the Younique Aesthetics Clinic in Belfast last week. Here's what happened. Conleth, great to see you back in Belfast. It must be great getting home again.
Oh, it's so great to be back in Northern Ireland, especially after 4 months in lockdown over there. It's just great to see society just, getting some form of normality back. It's really nice to be home.
So I spoke to you when you were in London. What was lockdown like in London? I would imagine it wasn't a pretty nice experience.
London in lockdown was really tough because I went over there, to get into the entertainment industry, which is practically non-existent over there at the moment. It's a very scary time for anyone in the performing arts sector. We're watching it go underwater at the moment, which is scary. But 2020 is just quite an awful year all round. But I think now we're starting to see glimmers of hope and light at the end of the tunnel. And I think when it does come back afloat, everyone will be so much more appreciative of it. And I think actually the best art and songs and plays will be created from this moment in our lives.
Yeah. Now, I know you've done panto on a regular basis. It must be sad to see a lot of pantos, including the main panto in Belfast this year, being cancelled.
Well, yes, I think I touched base with John Lenihan yesterday, May McFetridge, and I reached out to John because I've done the Grand Opera House panto twice. And he's so legendary, he's such an institution for Belfast. And I said, John, this is your opportunity to put your feet up, because he's done panto there for 30 odd years. So again, I think panto in 2021, all those families will be really, really excited to get back out, fill in those theatre seats once this mess is sorted.
Now for you, you're getting back on stage very shortly. That must be something you're really looking forward to.
Really looking forward to, really nervous about as well, because this is my first time on stage since January, so I'm really nervous about it, but hopefully I'll be a duck to water. It's good nerves, it's not bad nerves, I have to say. Listen, this has been incredibly humbling, and I've got a record that I really need to promote, and as a new artist who's put an album together, who's been unable to promote the music in a live capacity, the fact that I've got a really big 2 gigs lined up here in Northern Ireland is really exciting. I cannot wait to get out on stage, and to be supporting Brian is a dream come true.
Yeah, so you're always a Brian Kennedy fan then?
Massive Brian Kennedy fan, huge inspiration, have fantastic career, and to hear his recent stories of coming through illness, and music is still his antidote. It's fantastic. Brian and I did a TV show back for BBC Northern Ireland back in 2002, so to come full circle is really something.
I'm hearing little rumours today that there might be a duet between the two of you somewhere during the show.
Well, again, that's just the icing on the cake. I would love nothing more than to sing with Brian Kennedy. He's, we've got a lot in common. We're both songwriters from this part of the world. We're from the gay community. We have a lot in common, and I think that'll come across on stage, and it would be an absolute honour to sing with someone like Brian.
All right, now you've mentioned you've got the album coming out. What can we expect from the album?
Oh, I'm so proud of it. I'm very excited. I can't wait for you guys to hear it. I've put my heart and soul into it, and it's very much a homemade record. It was produced in Lisburn. All the musicians are from Northern Ireland. I wrote the songs, and it's very poppy. There's 2 big pop dancey tracks on there, and then you've got 3 big Celtic Irish style ballads on there as well.
Brilliant. Okay. Now the song Proud has been a big song for you. It's been reworked again, and you've just done a brand new music video which has been picking up so many hits on social media, hasn't it?
Do you know what? It's taken me by surprise. I wanted to mark Belfast Pride this year in some way, shape or form, because this is such a monumental year for the LGBTQ plus community in Northern Ireland, because equal marriage finally reached our shores. So I think it was such a shame, obviously, with COVID and the restrictions that are in place, that Pride couldn't go ahead. So I wanted to pass that message on to everyone else in the UK and the Republic of Ireland, that Northern Ireland still should be able to celebrate that day and mark that day as a really positive one, because it's been a long awaited victory.
Yeah, okay, well, we've got the video standing by for your song Proud. Do you want to look into the camera and introduce your video?
Yes, this is my new video for my song Proud. I hope you guys like it.
But if you put Nick and Lewis together, I think that they actually could be... Really? Yeah.
Hi, are you okay?
I just wanted to ask about the audition.
What about it?
I just wanted to know why I got cut.
I thought you were amazing. We're looking for men.
And what do you mean by that?
I think she just... You're wearing heels, my love.
I only wear heels when I dance.
We're not looking for a chorus girl, my darling.
Well, I did always want to be a Fosse girl.
That answers your question. We're looking for real men. I'll see you in reception in 10.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. Just gonna hang back for a second.
No worries.
I am proud of who I am. I am proud of what I see. When I look in the mirror, I see me. I am proud of what I say. I am proud of being me. 'Cause when I look in the mirror, I feel free. I don't care anymore what you think of me. I don't care anymore, no, no. I've got my liberty. 'Cause I'm proud, and I will sing it loud. I don't care anymore, no, no. 'Cause I'm proud of what I do, and I am proud of what you see. 'Cause when I look in the mirror, I see me, oh, I see me. And I'm proud of what I stand for. And I am proud that you get me. 'Cause when I look in the mirror, I feel free, oh, I feel free. 'Cause I don't care anymore what you think of me. I don't care anymore, no, no. I've got my liberty. 'Cause I'm and I will sing it loud. I don't care anymore, no, no. 'Cause what you think of me. I don't care anymore, no, no. I've got my liberty, no, 'cause I'm proud, I am proud, and I will sing it loud. I don't care anymore, no, no, 'cause I'm me.
And that was Conleth Kane with his new video, Proud.
And of course, that song's available on the brand new album Liberty, which is out now, and it's already been top 10 on the iTunes singer-songwriter chart. So that's all we have time for on The Big Show this week. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.